Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the confusing world of corporate filings like a detective cracking a tough case. Get ready for a deep dive into Xenia Hotels and Resorts' latest report, which dropped on August 1st, 2025 and uncovers the financial state of this hotel giant. Xenia Hotels and Resorts is a big player in the hotel industry, owning a bunch of high-end hotels in places like Austin, Chicago, and Miami. Think of them as the owners and operators of fancy places you'd stay during a business trip or a vacation. Today we're looking at their current report, which is like a snapshot of what's happening with the company right now. The main reason for this filing is to share their earnings for the quarter and the first half of the year, both ending on June 30th, 2025. This is like getting the latest report card for the company. They released a press release to announce these results, and that's what this whole report is really about. It's essentially telling us how they did financially. Xenia Hotels and Resorts is traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol XHR. That means if you're interested in investing in them, you can buy shares of their stock right there. It's a pretty standard thing for a publicly traded company to have its stock listed on a major exchange like the NYSE. Now let's get to the juicy part, the financial results. This report isn't giving us a whole lot of new numbers directly in the body, but it's telling us that there's a press release attached with all the important financial details. Think of this document as the cover letter, and the press release is the full detailed resume of their financial performance. Normally, in these types of filings, we'd see tables with revenue, profits, and all sorts of line items. But here, the focus is on directing us to that external press release. This part is key because it's Exhibit 99.1. This exhibit literally contains the press release where Xenia Hotels and Resorts announced their financial results for the quarter and 6 months ending June 30, 2025. While the report itself doesn't spell out the numbers, we can be sure that they are contained within this attached press release, which is the core of what this filing is about. We're essentially acknowledging that the company has put out official word on how it performed financially. And who is signing off on this important announcement? It's Accession, the Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. This tells us that these results have been reviewed and approved by the top financial executive at Xenia Hotels and Resorts. It's their stamp of approval on the numbers being presented. Now let's try to think about what this means without seeing the actual numbers in this document. When a company like Xenia Hotels and Resorts releases its earnings, a big focus for investors is on revenue, which is simply the total money they made from selling their services, in this case from hotel stays, room service, and other amenities. They also look at profits, which is what's left after they pay all their expenses. For a hotel company like Xenia, factors like hotel occupancy rates, average daily rates, and the performance of specific markets where they operate are huge drivers of these numbers. Economic conditions like travel trends and consumer spending power also play a massive role. If travel is booming, occupancy rates will likely be high and they can charge more, leading to higher revenue and potentially higher profits. Conversely, if people are spending less or travel is restricted, it means fewer guests and lower income. We can infer that the press release they've attached would detail these trends, showing whether their hotels were full or empty and how much they were charging guests on average. It would also likely highlight any major events or economic shifts that impacted. Looking at the broader picture for a hotel REIT like Xenia Hotels and Resorts, their financial reports are closely watched by investors because hotels are sensitive to economic cycles. When the economy is strong, people travel more for both business and leisure. When the economy weakens, travel budgets get cut and hotel occupancy can suffer. Xenia's strategy likely involves owning premium hotels in strong markets, which can help them weather economic downturns better than some competitors. They also likely focus on operational efficiency to control costs and maximize profitability from each room. The numbers in that press release are the ultimate verdict on how successful their strategy was in the period ending June 2025. We'd want to see if their revenue is growing, if their expenses are under control, and if their profits are increasing year over year. Any significant deviations from expectations could signal a change in their market position or a need to adjust their business strategy was in the period ending June 2025. We'd want to see if their revenue is growing, if their expenses are under control, and if their profits are increasing year over year. So to sum up, this filing is basically Xenia Hotels and Resorts telling the world they've released their Q2 2025 financial results via a press release. The important numbers, the detailed story of their performance, the operational highlights, and the financial health are all within that press release. What we can tell from this 8K is that they are officially communicating their financial standing for that period, and it's been signed off by their CFO. The real analysis and understanding comes from digging into that attached press release. Now, looking at the overall health of Xenia Hotels Hotels and Resorts based on typical patterns for hotel companies. In this sort of report, we would expect to see performance indicators related to same hotel revenue growth, which is a measure of how much revenue from hotels they've owned for at least a year has increased. We'd also look at hotel EBITDA margins, a key indicator of profitability before certain expenses. If these metrics are strong, it suggests their core hotel operations are performing well and they are effectively managing costs. Conversely, if these metrics are weak, it could indicate challenges in their markets or operational inefficiencies. External factors like interest rate changes can also impact a company like Xenia because they often use debt to finance their property acquisitions and operations. Higher interest rates mean higher borrowing costs, which can eat into profits. If strong, it suggests their core hotel operations are performing well and they are effectively managing costs. Conversely, if these metrics are weak, it could indicate challenges in their markets or operations. The story here, as is often the case with these filings, is about whether Xenia Hotels and Resorts is growing its revenue and its profits. Are they attracting more guests? Are they charging more per guest? And critically, are they managing their expenses effectively to turn that revenue into solid bottom line profit? The press release would likely provide context such as whether this was a strong quarter for travel overall, or if Xenia outperformed or underperformed competitors. It's a constant battle in the hotel industry to maintain occupancy and pricing power, especially in a dynamic economic environment. In conclusion, this filing is a formality, but it points to the actual financial performance being detailed elsewhere. The success of Xenia Hotels and Resorts hinges on their ability to consistently generate strong returns from their hotel portfolio. They need to navigate economic shifts, manage operational costs, and maintain brand appeal in a competitive market. Without the specific numbers from the press release, we can only speculate on the exact trends, but the report itself signifies transparency and accountability in their financial reporting. Alright, that's our breakdown of Xenia Hotels and Resorts' latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.